The reports of the last European Council meeting emphasised 3 points above all else. Firstly, the condemnation of Hamas in the strongest possible terms. Secondly, the recognition of Israel's right to defend itself in line with international law. And thirdly, the call on Hamas immediately to release all hostages without any precondition. These findings, taken on their own, seem fair. Hamas should be condemned for their brutal attack. They should release all hostages without precondition, and Israel does have a right to defend itself in accordance with international law. However, context is everything. Firstly, it is blatantly obvious that Israel's actions, the atrocities that they've committed, are in breach of international law. The blanket bombing of Gaza equates to an annihilation which can only be described as an encroaching genocide upon the Palestinian people. To call for Israel's right to self-defence to be respected while they indiscriminately murder innocent families, children and babies who have no comprehension of these atrocities and sadly never will is hypocrisy, it is barbarism, it is repulsive to the highest degree. These calls, they create a hierarchy of who deserves to live and who deserves to die. They present a position that the EU believes one people have a right to defend themselves while another does not. It is sickening. We should condemn Hamas. We should call for the release of hostages and acknowledge Israel's right to defend itself, but only if Palestine is afforded the same rights in accordance with international law. EU leaders, supposedly a bastion of peace and humanity, continue to sit around tables and refuse to even call for a ceasefire. EU leaders who don't seem to remember that the EU, as above all else, was founded as a peace project. What has it become? More than 10,000 people have been killed in just a month, including over 4,000 children, 89 UN workers and 39 journalists. Some 1.5 million people have been displaced. Yesterday, I tweeted a figure of 4,237 children murdered during this time. And I tell you, by the time I constructed that tweet, the figure would already have been out of date. It is horrendous. And this is only 28 days into the war. There's decades of EU's ignorance regarding the refusal to acknowledge the apartheid state Israel imposes upon the Palestinian people, the state-backed violence they've committed for generations. The EU Council can't even say ceasefire, just like they couldn't say apartheid. The European peace project is failing before our very eyes.